Forced motherhood is female enslavement. Make Roe's reversal a rallying cry for a real revolution. This Sunday, January 22nd, will be the 50th anniversary of the 1973 Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade, which established nationwide protections for women's right to abortion. This year, it will be a bitter pill, because last year, this right was overturned by the illegitimate Trump-packed fascist Supreme Court. Already, well over 100,000 women and girls have been forced to have children against their will. Have you let yourself feel this? Stop and really contemplate the dehumanization of having your body hijacked and having the lifelong emotional, economic, social, and physical consequences of having a child thrust upon you without your consent. Forced motherhood is female enslavement. Have you let yourself confront that this is just the beginning? This January 22nd, throngs of woman-hating fascists will not only be gloating over their victory, but actively mobilizing to take this attack further. Their aim is a full-blown theocratic Handmaid's Tale nightmare. And already they are moving to ban abortion nationwide, to target birth control and the rights of LGBTQ people, and much more. Have you let yourself think critically about the strategy you are being fed? And let's be honest, too often embracing by the Democratic Party and the so-called leaders of the so-called pro-choice movement? They straight up refused to mobilize any serious fight in the streets against the overturning of Roe. Some of them even attacked the one group, Rise Up for Abortion Rights, that did lead tens of thousands into the streets to wage this fight. And now, these so-called leaders are pushing a state-by-state strategy aimed at protecting abortion rights in a few places. Never mind the millions of women left behind. Never mind that any state protections could be reversed in a heartbeat by the fascist Supreme Court. Never mind that this state-by-state strategy accepts and legitimizes the outrageous, illegitimate notion that women's rights are not fundamental and that they should just be left up to each area to decide as a matter of taste. Will you continue to go along with this? The fury of millions of women and everyone who cares about justice, your fury needs to be unleashed now in the streets in mass struggle to demand legal abortion on demand and without apology nationwide. We need to draw inspiration from the brave women and the people of Iran. A society that enslaves women should never be allowed to function as normal. And have you ever asked why? Why do we have to live in a society where Dark Ages theocrats, several of them appointed by a fascist thug who openly bragged about sexually assaulting women, get to sit on the high court and dictate the lives of women? Why is it that everywhere around this globe, women are being beaten and raped, stalked and degraded, turned into sexual objects, pimped out, or shrouded and punished if they have sex at all? And why has it been this way for thousands of years? And have you ever let yourself dream, I mean really dream, of a world where women could walk this earth free of harassment and brutality, free of the fear of rape or any form of shame or control over their bodies and reproduction, where all the forms of oppression of women and of other oppressed people are being uprooted and overcome? Have you ever wondered what it would take to make this world real? Well, there are answers to these questions, liberating answers, and there is a whole different, radically better way we could be living. All of this can be found in the work and the leadership of the revolutionary leader Bob Avakian, and he brings this alive with heart and passion and penetrating science in the must-watch interviews he did recently on this, the RNL, the Revolution Nothing Less show. In these interviews, Bob Avakian compares the society we live in to a house, and I want to pursue this metaphor. The culture and the laws that govern our lives are the rooms that we live in. In one room, women are being abused and degraded. In another, black and brown people are being murdered by police. and yet another, the planet is on fire. Down the hall, reactionary wars are grinding up lives, and at every window and door, immigrants are being walled out or locked up and deported. At times, after enormous struggle by the people, this system will put a fresh coat of paint on the walls of one of these rooms. Maybe they'll be forced to grant the right to abortion. Maybe they'll be forced to end a war or to elect some black officials. But with time, this paint starts to peel. Inevitably, the stench of the rot at the foundation seeps up through the floorboards. The rot at the foundation of this house is the system of capitalism imperialism. It is a system based on vicious exploitation on every corner of this planet. It is a system that has all the oppression I spoke of built into its foundation. This is why it requires institutions of violent repression to enforce it. This is why it requires backwards ideas to justify it. No cosmetic repair can lead to any lasting good in this house. This house must be torn down. Its foundation must be dug up, and an entirely new house, a new system, must be built in its place. We need a revolution. And this is urgent. It is also eminently possible. Ironically enough, it is more possible right now, when things are being radically reshaped in a fascist way, when rights are being ripped back, when the country is being split in half from the bottom to the top, when things like this terrible attack can force people to question the way things have been and whether they have to stay that way. Now is the time to learn about this revolution by digging deeply into these interviews from Bob Avakian. Find out why such a radical overturning and uprooting is urgently necessary. Find out what this revolution is all about and what we could build on the foundation of a new, non-exploitative system and new relations, and spread these interviews to others. As you do, step out of your comfort zone and challenge others to do the same. Unleashing the fury of millions and millions of women and girls is the only way to beat back the escalating attack on abortion rights, and it is a crucial part of building up the strength to win a whole different world. Make this the 50th anniversary of Roe v. Wade. Make the reversal of this fundamental right of women a rallying cry for a real revolution. Legal abortion on demand and without apology nationwide and everywhere. Forced motherhood is female enslavement. Break the chains. Unleash the fury of women as a mighty force for a real revolution.